Day, it's the end of March and it's still very cold in Ottawa, Canada, so I do see some things peeking out though. The snow has melted and you can see some nice heuchera leftover leaves. I'll have its color a little bit, some sedums, and here we got some hyacinths poking in. We've got some evergreens. We've got some irises coming through. I think I have a daffodil right there. On this side over here, I have some crocus. They're always first. Yeah, so it's still too early to, prune anything. It's still too early to clean up the leaves even. There's still little critters hibernating, so usually we wait until it's like 10 degrees above freezing at night, or at least during the day. Right now it's still going to like -3 at night, so not there yet. What I will do is investigate any really broken, damaged stuff, and I'll probably cut that out so that new buds have a chance to grow where they're supposed to set up, and then just see what I can find that worked and didn't work over the winter, and I'll share that with you. First off, I do have a new side fence that was installed, which is really amazing. And I'm also putting in an awning right here to act as a carport. That's coming in real soon, and the pavement is gonna get a nice sealing coat. It'll look a lot better than that. Okay, so first thing is I noticed that these hyacinths are getting some damage on them, so I think I'm going to cover them up. I really need to set up the cloches whenever the bulbs come out of the alliums. So that's one of my alliums, and the squirrels don't eat them. They just like to knock off their heads for fun. Also, things that definitely you shouldn't buy, those things at the dollar store. You buy cheap, you get cheap. So this is junk. It just falls apart. There was one right here. It's just like wet cement now. I don't have to ever cover up the crocuses. Maybe they're just too small and not enticing for the squirrels. I'll just leave them alone. Yeah, it's a bit windy today, so I just put some rocks on them. So it looks like my blackberry main stem is broken right down there. Okay, I cleaned that up a lot better, and I know I'm not supposed to prune, but I guess you can prune blackberries. Now this is a blackberry that is ever producing, and so I just took out anything that was crisscrossing and damaged, and then also the stems that weren't going to produce buds anymore because they're like 3 years old. So I only kept the ones that look clearly like they're budding up, and got rid of everything else. So I tested a Sharpie and then a actual, like, the garden marker. That's what it's called. I bought that on Amazon, the garden marker, and that's the only one that worked. Everything else is I put the Sharpie on this side and it's all gone, and I put the garden marker on this one and it worked. So learned my lesson there. So I wrapped my 2 evergreens. There's one over there. I think it's time to unwrap them. There's not going to be freezing too much really freezing wind to dry them out anymore, and I can easily just water them if I have to. So I think, there we go. I think they'll be okay. Now I like the way I protect it, not just from the wind and all that. It's so that the weight of the snow doesn't mess with the linear look of these branches. So I think that worked out nice. That's my silvery blue juniper, and then over here I've got a golden yellow. That's junk. Must invest in some good stepping stones, not junk. Where's the end? I'll probably just tug it. No? Yes? Oh yeah, the reason why I have these garden sticks here, these stakes, is because the wind, or the snow rather, made it so heavy it was like leaning over at one point, and so I'd shake the snow off and it still kind of leaned over, so I just wanted to put those stakes in over the winter when I take my little peeks around. And I know they say you're not supposed to have your burlap like touching, but you know, too bad. I don't really think it does anything. Take these stakes out. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, looks nice. Good shape. I have the tiniest shed. These stakes barely even fit in here. There. I'm not going to uncover the endless summer hydrangea. I have staked all of the stems down to the ground to try to keep the buds from dying, which obviously didn't work right there. But hopefully I have some green buds on the old wood, because that's what you need. Oh, it's not looking so good. Okay, so I'll tell you what happened here. I had these all down and covered and no problem, right? And then there was one day that was like plus 19 degrees, like summer hot. And I guess it melted the ground and these guys like flung out and all of the stems shot upright. And then honestly, like the next day it went to minus 8 in the night. So it went from like plus 20 to minus 8. And I didn't know, or I didn't notice that all of these sprung up and this cover just flew right off. So I don't know if I'm gonna get any buds on old wood, but it's hard to tell right now because it's a little too early. But to me, from looking at them right now, they all just look, I don't know, like it's a hit or miss. Like definitely those aren't viable. But maybe, you never know. I tried to protect them the best I could, but we had a really weird winter of really hot, really cold, really hot, really cold. It was very confusing for a lot of the plants, I'm sure. So I'm gonna keep that draped because I don't know, we're gonna get like another weird frost probably. And over here, I just have my azalea and I'm keeping that covered as well because the squirrels like to eat the buds on it. Oh, focus. Doesn't want to focus on that bud. Well, you get it. I will be eventually feeding all my hydrangeas and azaleas and all my acid-loving plants with some fertilizer that helps acidify the soil. This is it. It's granular sulfur pellets. And I just sprinkle it with my hands, well, and my gloves, I mean, because it's very smelly like sulfur is. And it worked last year to make my hydrangeas kind of like on the blue side of the endless summer. The azaleas, on the other hand, I think it was mislabeled when I bought them. I bought definitely Rosy Lights azaleas, and they came up kind of yellow-white last year, so I don't think I fertilized them early enough. Like maybe it's either that they're actually just supposed to be white or that I didn't fertilize them before that color sets in or something. I'm not sure. Oh, a little bit of yellowiness on the boxwood here. Don't know if that's gonna be something I have to cut out. I'm just gonna give it time. Oh yeah, there, the Sharpie almost worked in this protected corner. So I'll have to show you the marker that actually works for that. There we go, some protection. I gotta throw those out. So I'll have to scoop them out because they're really wet right now. So I'm just gonna wait and scoop that out and get proper stepping stones that are actually rocks. Not cement or concrete or whatever this is. It's junk is what it is. Oh, the dogwood sticks are so pretty. I remember this is only its 3rd year. It's grown really nicely. I wonder if this rose, this is a climbing rose, Zephyrin Druin. Last year was its first winter, and I actually staked everything down like the hydrangea to protect it under the soil, and it survived just fine, but it still didn't bloom very well. But they say the 3rd year is when it's like, right, sleep, creep, leap. So maybe it'll bloom better. The weird thing about this is Zephyrin Druin is supposed to be a thornless, and on some of the old stems, yeah, there are no thorns. So, you know, I was like, it's definitely not thorn, it's definitely thornless. And then last year's new growth, thorns everywhere. It's definitely got thorns. So, I mean, look at that collage of thorns. Some people say that it's probably because it was grafted onto a native rose, and now what I'm getting is the native rose new growth from the part that was grafted. But I mean, looking at it, I don't think so, because this is the thornless Zephyrin Druin, and like this is the one full of thorns, and it's coming, I think it's coming out the same area. I don't know. And like this one right here, that one's thornless, but then the one coming off of it, oh, that one's, yeah, has thorns. Yeah, this green one. So, also, Zephyrin Druins aren't supposed to be grafted. They're hardy to this zone, and they're not actually supposed to be grafted. So I don't think that's the case. It'll be interesting to see what roses bloom on this thing. It's a vigorous grower. I'm not gonna, I don't think I'm gonna prune it this year, just maybe the ones that are, you know, in the way and growing the wrong way. But I tied it to the wall pretty securely, and I think I'm just gonna let it do its thing, and then I'll do a more proper prune next year. I just really wanna see how many flowers I can get out of it. And this Russian Sage is my newest addition from last fall. It's Proven Winners Denim and Lace. And I don't think I'm supposed to touch it. Like, I don't think I'm supposed to prune it. Definitely not its first year. It's just tiny. I'll just leave it there. And also, this Dianthus I had to cut out a little bit, and I think it's doing okay again. So it survived really well, and so did this one. This one's perfect. It's Silver Star Dianthus. This guy's doing great. This little blue spruce, no issues there. And never any issues here. Really needs some of that yellow color in the euonymus. It grows well, but look at this. This Dianthus is not doing well, and I think what I'm gonna do, like, it's obviously a lot of dead. I'll cut away all the dead and bring it down to its wood. It's got like that wooden center, and see if it starts to regrow. Like, I'll try to look for a budded up area. Like, I can see tiny little buds against the it looks like a trunk there, and I'm just gonna cut it way back because this isn't gonna make it. And that's what I did to the other one. I cut off all of the yellow dead, and then it survived. So that's what I'm gonna do here. I should do that now, actually. There we go. I know that looks really harsh, but there's green all over it. All the cuts are green. There's little buds going. It'll be just fine. You gotta trust the process. Look at these little guys. Some purple, a little white one. Yeah. All right, so hopefully the weather improves and I can actually start gardening instead of just a few things here and there. But yeah, everything's looking really full, and I'm happy, and nothing looks overly dead. I think success, 3rd year, is gonna be the best year. Take care.